and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Wednesday, May 7th. We begin with an update from our parent company, Circle City Broadcasting. It is among those filing a federal lawsuit challenging Indiana's ban on reporters attending executions. Circle City Broadcasting, along with several other outlets, is suing the head of Indiana's Department of Correction and the superintendent of the state prison in Michigan City, where executions take place. The lawsuit claims that the media ban is unconstitutional. This comes 2 weeks before Benjamin Ritchie is set to be put to death for the 2000 murder of Beech Grove police officer Bill Toney. A spokesperson for the Department of Correction says they cannot comment on pending lawsuits. To IT Made, neighbors tell our crews that the man shot and killed by police outside the Hendricks County Courthouse on Monday have recently told them that he did not have long to live. State police have not said why Mark Vaughter pulled a gun as deputies walked inmates into court. But Vaughter's family says he was the great-grandfather of 2 young children killed in a crash during a police chase in Plainfield back in February. Court records show Sidani Pettis was initially scheduled for a hearing on Monday in that case, but it was later delayed.
I think he might have was planning it to go over there at the courthouse and take out that guy that took out his grandkids.
Deputies shot and killed Vaughter after he fired at least one shot at inmates. In Indianapolis, Michigan, and New York streets are about to make the switch from one-way to two-way traffic. News 8's Danielle Zulkowski reports.
The Indianapolis City County Council introduced a proposal for deletion of 2 one-way streets. This will make sure the city code is in line with the project the Department of Public Works started last year. New York and Michigan streets will soon be two-way traffic instead of one-way. This will preserve the current amount of east and westbound lanes, but Indianapolis DPW says it will improve safety by reducing speeds because people will not be able to legally pass each other to increase their speed.
It's really important because this is a way of traffic calming in the community to make it more safer for bicycles and pedestrians instead of being a racetrack arterial in and out of the city.
Community advocates have been pushing for this change for about 20 years.
It'll be a natural calming technique because the lanes are going to be narrow if you've got bike lanes and parking on one side. I don't think people understand and anticipate how it will be slower traffic and different from the 2 lanes. When it was one way, there won't be speeding.
The Department of Public Works considered traffic studies that show two-way streets reduce crashes and make neighborhoods safer for children.
It's not a highway. These are residential neighborhoods with some light commercial inside that needs to have a connectability with walking and bicycling as well as vehicle traffic. So to make all 3 of these uses on these streets now helps out the community and makes everybody safer.
Councilor Jesse Brown is the proposal sponsor as the sitting district councilor. This change is a formality to update city code to reflect the directional changes to the street. He says in part, engineers agree that traffic will proceed more smoothly and calmly, which we anticipate will save lives and prevent serious injuries from auto crashes. The statement continues saying, the neighborhoods of the Near East Side of District 13 are wonderful places to raise families, live, and play, not just places to speed past on your way in and out of downtown. The project is expected to be done by the middle of the year, but DPW did not give a specific date. I'm Danielle Zulkowski for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Real ID requirements for flying within the U.S. are now in effect after nearly 20 years of delays. Congress passed the Real ID Act in 2005 following a recommendation from the 9/11 Commission to enhance identification security. But the federal government repeatedly delayed enforcing the law due to negotiations with states over compliance. If you don't have a Real ID star on your driver's license or other ID, you could face delays at airport security. However, this week, the Federal Department of Homeland Security said Americans will still be able to fly without a Real ID as long as they pass other security requirements. On Capitol Hill, the Supreme Court has voted to allow the Trump administration to enforce a ban on transgender people serving in the military. The court did not explain its reasoning, which is common in emergency rulings. The 3 liberal justices said they would have blocked the policy. When the president passed the executive order earlier this year, he argued that the sexual identity of transgender service members is harmful to military readiness. The high courts allowed a similar ban during President Trump's first term. It was then reversed by President Biden. Under the new ban, service members with gender dysphoria will be processed for separation from military service. In world news, authorities in Pakistan say at least 26 people are dead following missile strikes from India, raising worries of conflict between neighboring countries that have nuclear weapons. The missiles hit 6 locations in eastern Pakistan, as well as the Pakistani portion of the Kashmir territory that's split between the countries. Pakistan's leader is calling the attack an act of war. However, India says it was targeting infrastructure linked to an attack last month that killed 26 tourists in the Indian-controlled portion of Kashmir. Let's talk sports. The Pacers are now up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Tyrese Haliburton hit the game-winning three-pointer with just 3 seconds left in the game. The Pacers beat the Cavs 120-119. Game 3 will be at home at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Friday. When it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says we are in for a warmer day with some sunshine too. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
I think we're continuing on the up and up, right? It was ugly over the weekend, and we've just bounced back in a big way. We're at 55 right now. Southwest wind at 8 miles per hour. And I don't think winds are going to be a tremendous issue, but you definitely have a lot of cloud cover. You could see that behind me here. 52 in Lafayette, 56 Muncie and Shelbyville, 57 currently in Bloomington. We're actually a little bit warmer now than we were this time yesterday morning, anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees around the metro area. So it's a good start. We finished into the 70s yesterday. We may end up doing a little better than that today. Now, again, we are starting off with a lot of gloom across our state, but I am noting some breaks in the clouds up in northwestern Indiana, parts of Illinois. The clouds really kind of thin out, and it is clear across the Mississippi River into Missouri and Arkansas. And so we'll start tapping into that. It may take a few hours to get there, but I am optimistic that as we go later into the day, while we won't be completely cloud-free, we will see some cracks and breaks in those clouds, maybe 50-50 at some point during the afternoon, and that should allow for a decent amount of sunshine. Wonderful numbers today. By lunchtime, hopefully you can sneak out 71. By noon, I'm going to go with numbers around 78 degrees later on this afternoon, and I think mid and upper 70s are going to be very common across our state, and we do stay dry. Now, I am eyeing some rain opportunities as early as tomorrow. We're also looking ahead to a very busy race and Mother's Day weekend. Full timetable in my Storm Track 8 forecast coming your way in just a few minutes.
To get a peek at Marcus Bailey's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Wednesday, May 7th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.